Black Panther deleted scenes. I'm Joe from the Joe and Richie channel. Please subscribe to our channel. Plenty of great videos coming up. Reviews of pops, movies. I got my Krypton review coming up. I tend to do that Thursday morning after the episode airs Wednesday night. So please subscribe to our channel. We'd love to have you along for the ride. So today is May 8th, 2018. Black Panther was number 7 in the domestic box office over the weekend, yet it has been released on digital copy. We live in truly different times than when I was a kid, when it took months, if not years. Some movies never came out on home video. They just didn't. But that's been Disney's kind of MO with the Marvel movies and even the Star Wars movies. They get that DVD out, that Blu-ray and that digital copy out fast. They want to just cash in on that money. I guess they just want to take the momentum from all the ads they did on television and the movie and all that stuff, and they just want to cash in on it. Now, the last movie I did deleted scenes for was The Last Jedi. Put the link up above. You can check that out. Now, The Last Jedi, while I really enjoyed that movie, was a movie that did have its issues and its detractors. So the deleted scenes on that were certainly something that could be cause for debate and discussion. But I wanted to see what the deleted scenes were going to be like on a movie that actually was critically acclaimed and pretty much everybody liked, which the Black Panther was. So there's only 4 deleted scenes. The movie was bright and tight as it was. It was about 2 hours and 15 minutes, and it was a fast 2 hours and 15 minutes compared to The Last Jedi, which was 2 hours and 30 minutes and felt like 4 hours. Just before T'Challa goes into the UN to give his speech about opening up Wakanda to the world, and he just walks up to Agent Ross. Agent Ross tells him, "Don't do this. You sure you want to do this? They're gonna come for you." And then he tries to say something in Wakandan, and he makes a funny, and he says like something about shoelaces. So he kind of screws up, Agent Ross screws up what he was going to say, which I guess may have been kind of nice to put in, because as I understand, that character was more of a comic relief in the comic books, and they made him a little bit more of a badass in this movie, a capable agent. But all in all, it just did not belong. It was in the post-credit sequence. What does it matter? Agent Ross says, don't show anybody. No one's coming for Wakanda. They can come. Hey, well, why not have them come? Maybe that's interesting. Maybe people will come for Wakanda. That'll make it interesting in the next Black Panther 2. But at the end of the day, it was just not necessary. It was completely unnecessary and a good cut. Maybe it was kind of nice just to show the motivation of a husband and wife team. But I would have preferred to know what the hell happened to Rhinoceros Boy after the movie. What he did was pretty villainous. This was T'Challa's friend, and he just backed the other guy, even when T'Challa showed up alive, because he didn't come back with Ulysses' claws. I want to know what happened with his character. He was notably absent in Avengers 3. I guess they couldn't have every character in anyway, but he was pretty notably absent, that he wasn't out there on the battlefield at the end of the movie. So I was more interested in what happened to him afterwards than their little conversation about their husband and wifery. I'm gonna say, again, a good cut that it was not in there. That is just after he takes the ceremony that gives him back the power of the Black Panther. He awakes from that and has a conversation with Forrest Whitaker's Zouri about his father. And it's just really a whole bunch of nothing. The only thing that's in there is maybe he says, like, you know, do you have any regrets as your time as a war dog to Zouri, and, you know, kind of foreshadowing that they're going to show the remainder of the 1990s Oakland scene later, where you see what happened. Now, that scene was just a complete waste. Complete waste. It's just a little bit of reminiscing about the father and the memories of the old times. That was just completely useless. This was right after the opening, shows them flying away after, you know, whatever happened with the king and his brother, and the kids looking up. And then it cuts to the king in like the caverns of the dead or something like that, being all upset, and T'Challa and his girlfriend, kid versions of it, hanging out and just playing around, and get out of here, you shouldn't be in here. And next thing you know, there's a conversation between the king and his son. And The king basically says, I had a hard thing to do today. And then T'Challa says, oh, you're a great king, you always do the right thing. Sort of foreshadowing later in the film how he realizes his father made a very bad mistake by leaving Killmonger behind. And also he says something about, you know, when I'm Black Panther, I'll protect you and you'll live forever, which, as we know, didn't happen. He was not able to protect his father, which is something that the Jabari clan leader brings up in his challenge. So there's a couple things that tie into stuff that happened later in the film. It wasn't a bad scene. Maybe it could have worked, but I think the reason it was not in it was because at the end of that scene, after the little conversation, you see T'Challa standing over his father's dead body. So this is before whatever funeral there is and before they have the initiation of him being the king and everything like that, the ceremony. So that would tend to indicate, which isn't like surprising so much, that T'Challa went home and then went out to get his lady friend who was with the people being smuggled for the slave trade, and then went back home. So it didn't work from the context of the pacing of the film. That's why this was cut, and I think it was a good cut. Added a little bit of context to the relationships, but a good cut for the pacing of the film, because you get that entrance into Wakanda, and something gets taken away from that. If you already see T'Challa was in Wakanda, then leaves to go get his girlfriend, then flies back in. So there's like the majesty of the first time you fly into Wakanda that gets taken away, even if you don't see Wakanda. So I see why that was cut, and another good cut. Let me close by saying that Black Panther was one of those rare movies that kept me in my seat from start to finish. I always end up feeling like I have to run to the bathroom when I see a movie. I don't know if it's I really have to go into the bathroom or if it's more just an antsiness that makes me want to get out of my seat. Black Panther kept me in my seat. The deleted scenes on this are nothing more than extras, DVD or Blu-ray extras. They were not really warranted because the movie was cut perfectly. But it's interesting to see what could have been in there. And as I said before, only one scene really deserved to stay, and it was cut for pacing, and because of that, I think it didn't even deserve to stay. So the deleted scenes all had to go to keep the movie just what it was, which was almost perfect. So there you have it, my review of the Black Panther deleted scenes. Go ahead, buy the movie, it's out, watch it over and over and over again. Still in the theaters if you want to see it on the big screen, but at this point, you might as well get the digital copy and enjoy it at your leisure. And please subscribe to the Joe and Richie channel. We have great videos coming up. Krypton, Thursday morning after the Wednesday night premiere. Love to have you along. I'm Joe. Until next time.